let me take a time out and say a special good morning to those of you listening to Classic Radio. How are you this morning? Hope all is well. Those of you viewing GBN TV, where it's channel 7, channel 11, channel 20, good morning and welcome. Hope all is well with you. Let me say good morning also to those of you via our social media platforms, Facebook page, YouTube channels. Good morning. Welcome once again. And thanks for being with us this morning here on To The Point. I'm your host, GT. I'll be due until it's 10 a.m. this morning. It's Opposition Tuesday. Today on the program, it's the 6th day of May 2026. And representing the opposition here today on Opposition Tuesday, we have, of course, Mr. Jelani, Jelani Glean, we get the name right. And he's representing this morning. Let's go over to him and say good morning. Good morning to you, sir, and welcome. How are you this morning?
Good morning to you. Thank you for having me this morning. It's a pleasure being here. Good morning to your viewers, listeners, people tuning via the social media web. It's a pleasure being here with you.
All right, and it's certainly a pleasure to have you back once again. It's not your first tenure being here on To The Point, so certainly it's happy to have you back with me this morning. On a kind of particular different circumstances, I would say this morning, you know, been appointed as a caretaker for St. Patrick's West. How did that come about for you, sir? If I could just actually just off the back like that.
This has been long. It's a long process. I've been in politics, involved in politics with the New National Party for probably over 25 years now, more so at the background level. Lately, this motion has been put in place because, I felt like I had a little bit more that I could contribute to my community, my constituency, my parish as a whole, and to my country. So I offered myself to the party for consideration moving forward, and we were taken through a long process. And at the end of the day, the national executive had the confidence in me to select me as the person they felt would have best prepared our constituency for upcoming general elections. That may be some time away. We don't know when that will be, but whenever that will be, I'm the one charged with the responsibility of having the constituency prepared, ready, good to go.
All right. You did mention that, you've always been into politics. The inspiration behind it. There's always something that will inspire you as an individual, to want to take that particular step, of course, to be in public service. We know the battle that comes around with it at times. What's that inspiration that brought you to the forefront like this?
Well, through my family, I would say. My grandfather was an ardent Eric Matthew Geary supporter all his life. And transcending out of that, my mom became a very strong NNP supporter. And so from childhood, I was very much a part of it. And she was an NNP activist. So, I really would tag along wherever she went, wherever she did. I saw her work from home. I saw her work in the field. I saw her work out there. And that always has been an inspiration to me. She was someone who cared about people and was often loved in return. And that always motivated me to want to give more of myself to my community, as was illustrated to me by her. And as such, I always had that innate desire to serve. As a youngster, I got involved in youth programs. I was once, National Youth Ambassador, part of the National Youth Council, all of those young initiatives that would have assisted young persons and given them training and helped them to develop as youngsters into leadership positions. And today, here we are.
You said you offered up yourself to become the caretaker. That particular new role that you're into now, sir, tell me, what does it mean to you personally to be accepted and to be going through that vigorous, of course, you said that vigorous, of course, being able to be selected and so forth. Tell me, what does it mean to you personally?
Contrary to popular belief, for me personally, it's actually a very humbling experience. I've been a member of this community all my life. And I understand what it means to have good representation. I understand what it means to look forward with hope based on the representation that you have, and how representation actually affects people's lives individually as a community, as a parish as a whole, even as a nation. And for me, it's really a humbling experience. One, in that our new national party, which has been a stalwart party in this country for over 40 years now, really having the confidence in me to lead in preparations for such a important, what we probably will consider the most important at this point, occasion that's upcoming. To have that confidence in me, also of the 5,000 plus people that reside in our constituency, and say, hey, we believe in you. We think you are the right person to lead and to share our mandate and to share our vision for a better Grenada with the St. Patrick's West constituency. I think for me, it's really a humbling experience. It's one that I don't take lightly. And I understand the weight that comes with it, that the person's expectations, some persons are really and truly depending on you to make a change in their lives that will lead them to a better livelihood and better life.
You mentioned, of course, in a previous statement, your mom has been an avid supporter of the new national party. Your was it your grandfather, your father? Hope I got that right. Was also, active politically back then. Mm-hmm. What has drawn you as that individual, Jelani Glean, to be, of course, wanting to be part of the new national party as an organization, as a political organization, I would say? What has drawn you to that, to the new national party?
As a youngster growing up, I can say with a lot of confidence that the new national party has always provided opportunities for the youth within the party. They've always believed in the youth potential, youth energy, youth ideas. And they've invested not only whilst in government, but also within their own youth arms, also within communities. They've always supported youth initiatives that give confidence training to help develop our young minds and to put them in leadership positions. If you look through the history of the party, you would see that youth has always been given an opportunity. Even our current political leader herself was given an opportunity as a youth. She has led herself a lot of youth initiatives. She's one that I know for a fact believes in the youth potential. And I too was attracted to this. I became involved. I grew as an individual. I learned a lot, exposure across not only Grenada, exposure in leadership training, but also being able to represent Grenada at the regional level as a youth. That itself also meant a lot to us and really opened my eyes as to the potential we carry as Grenadians, that we can sit on the world stage with anybody and perform with a level of excellence and confidence that is unmatched across the world.
What hope do you say you will bring to the people of St. Patrick's West through this particular position that hold as a caretaker for that particular constituency? What hope do you bring as an individual? What hope do you bring for them?
Well, first and foremost, I bring the hope that is alive in the new national party. That is a party that has always performed once in office. Of course, the party is not perfect and would have had mistakes along the way, but which political party has not? I am fully confident that the new national party, when in office, has always performed, and we can always point back to and look at the benefits, look at the development that we have experienced under the new national party's leadership. Now, that being said, for me personally, it's me carrying that mantle on behalf of the new national party. We are a party that is inclusive. We are a party that is fair across the board. We are a party that cares. We are a party that is forward-looking. And most importantly, we are a party that delivers. Once we have made a decision as to a direction we would like to go in terms of policy, the execution, we are 100% committed, always on board to executing. And as such, I would really like to carry that message forward to our people in St. Patrick West. This is not a campaign about me, the individual. Some persons may like to think so, but it's really not a campaign about me, the individual. It is about the new national party and what collectively as a team the new national party brings to the table. We have the historical record of, like I said, youth involvement, upward mobility throughout the party. We have in the the history of the party. You can look back to see the infrastructural development. We can see the human resource development. We can see lots of things that we can point to that we know the New National Party is a progressive party, but also a responsible party. We are a law-abiding party. And such, I want to bring that back to the forefront so that our constituents understand the importance of having a party, such a party, represent us in government and to lead Grenada forward towards a future for all Grenadians, a future that is better for each and every citizen.
I'm assuming you have started, of course, going through the constituency. Of course, some of the individuals within the constituency, of course, may not be a first time knowing for you. What has you been picking up? What have you picked up, per se, as you commute through the constituency and so forth, that draws a concern to you, and in some way or the other, you would like to advocate for those individuals within that particular constituency? What have you been picking up in terms of the concern, more or less?
Well, in terms of concerns, there are levels of concern. Some is at the individual and personal level. Here we're looking at housing in particular as one of the areas needing some attention. We have seen the government make some investment in helping persons who have been affected by the hurricane last year. They've started receiving some help. We've also seen the making available the Chinese housing project in the villa at Sotes, that becoming available for persons to purchase for low-income people. We've also seen Project 500, some of those housing also being made available to our people. And that is good. That is very positive, and we want to commend the government on what they're doing in this regard. But it's still concerning when we look at over 200 houses being promised just off the post-burial scenario. We saw that 200 houses were promised to the residents and constituents of St. Patrick. And when we look around, I'm not seeing anything close to that. As a matter of fact, maybe even if you add all the houses we've seen in both St. Patrick's East and West, I don't believe we've even gotten to 40 as yet. I could be corrected in that, but I don't think we've gotten to 40 as yet. And that is concerning because there are lots of persons out there who are in need, who are desperate, who are living under poor conditions as is at the moment. They cannot afford the cost of repairs. We know the cost of construction materials right now is astronomical, and they are in need. That's one. Secondly, we have persons who, at a community level, are concerned with, for example, the Breakwater project and the continued environmental degradation that is taking place at the Sotes Bay. And matter of fact, that has been extended from probably as far on St. Patrick's East as the Old Mary pasture area that's in Livera, coming all the way down through Rattan, Bushiri, into Sotes Bay, going all the way down to Montradley. The erosion that is taking place along the coast there is of concern, and we would like to see, something done about that. That's at a community level. Also, persons would have raised concerns to me about two groups that they considered susceptible and vulnerable, right? And vulnerable not because they're incapable, but vulnerable because the natural conditions around them, the odds are stacked a little bit against them. One of that being the elderly. Persons would have expressed that they would like to see a little bit more care taken for the elderly, a little bit more safety nets put in place, maybe whether it be discounts for transportation fees. We know often, sometimes they have to visit health centers on a weekly basis. They have to go monthly to the doctors or to the general hospital for checkups and so forth. And the cost for them is a little bit much. That's one. Secondly, we like to see some of the elderly who does not have persons taking care of them, family and friends, and are left isolated by themselves, to get a little bit more assistance, have persons checking in on them, helping them do whatever it is they need to, or creating facilities where these persons can really get the care that they need. Those are two of the areas as it relates to the elderly, maybe even as well, discounts at the pharmacies and so forth. because let's admit it, the likelihood of persons requiring the most medication and the most care would be infants and the elderly. And so persons would really like to see, some more attention being paid to the elderly and, some safety nets being put in place to assist them a little bit more. Secondly, we have that of our special needs children. We understand that, for lots of parents, especially in the rural areas, the special needs parents, especially the mothers, often have to stay at home and provide full-time attention. As a result of that, many of them are not able to work because of that full-time care that is being given. And so things are becoming a little bit more and more economically difficult for them the longer they remain in that type of position. And so we want to see a little bit more facilities, a little bit more consideration given to some of these parents. Either they can become caregivers themselves and provide the caregiver and gain some employment through that so that they can take care of their home and their families, or that facilities are developed so that they can have the kids attend the facilities for a period of time while they be gainfully employed during work time. So those are two of the areas that came across in terms of larger community and national issues that would have been raised. Our small business people, our farmers are really sad at this moment. We've seen that we've gotten some help from the burial situation. Many farmers still haven't gotten any form of restitution, any form of help in terms of that, and we trust in the government to continue the process until each and every farmer has been covered. We also are concerned because the amount of money that's been given out to some of these farmers. Imagine you have 20 acres of land versus somebody who has 5 acres of land. You get the same amount of money to clear, to dispose of the debris and so on from the destruction that would have occurred, and to clean and replant. The scales for that cannot be balanced. Insurance for farmers, it still remains an issue. Lots of farmers don't have that protection, and as such, it's really personal investment that is going to carry them forward. And whenever there isn't anything to secure that, there is another natural disaster, there is some environmental issue, there is a Sahara dust, there is torrential rainfall, that type of situations, they lose all of their crops and all of their investment. And so we want to see a little bit more being done to assist our farmers, particularly in the rural area. We are the breadbasket of the nation, and we as farmers would like to see a little bit more being done in that regard.
I mean, one may ask a question. Of course, you being part of the opposition here in Grenada right now, and you just spoke about a lot of the concerns, a lot of the issues that you have picked up in your commute around the constituency. How do you plan to advocate for these, to, of course, get some of these issues resolved? How do you plan to do that?
Well, of course, I plan to do more than just advocate. We have a government in place at this point in time. But like I said, my duty is to prepare for the upcoming election. And I do believe that the New National Party has shown its capacity to deliver at a high level and to really put the action behind where their mouths are. And I believe that we are in the process of planning as we speak. As the party goes forward, we will plan, and very soon we would start presenting to the public a lot of the vision that we have for different sectors, especially in agriculture, employment, housing, those types of areas where we believe that some changes in policy may actually allow for better performance within those industries, and with that we will have the capacity within to really drive home that and support persons in those areas to help them perform at a much better level, give them the support and the care that is needed to help them drive forward in those areas.
All right, this is going to be due for a break. Let's take that break. When we come back, we certainly have much more to talk about. Hey, folks, it's To The Point here on Classic Radio GBN TV. We due for a break. Let's take that break. When we come back, we have much more for you. Stay with us here on To The Point.
Meet Mom. We know that
Get ready
ready, Grenada? The Maggie King of the Grill is back and bigger than ever. On Saturday, June 7th, Monroe's playing field transforms into the ultimate battleground for grill masters. Think you got what it takes? Then fire up those grills and show your skills. Registration closes Friday, April the 11th, so don't miss your chance to compete for that sizzling prize and bragging rights. It's food, fun, and flavor, all powered by Maggie. To register, call 407-8458. Maggie King of the Grill, where flavor rules. See you there.
Hey GBN family, we've got a brand new home on Facebook and you need to be there. Follow us now on Facebook at Grenada Broadcasting Network -GBN. Stay updated with the latest news, sports, entertainment, and everything Grenada. Don't miss out. Like, follow, and share. Grenada Broadcasting Network. Stay informed, stay ahead. First with the news, fast with the updates.
Got something to share?
Call us at 440-1252.
WhatsApp 405-3052 or 407-8458.
Or email gbnnews@gbn.gd.
GBN News, first, accurate, voted #1.
A beat that don't stop like Bob Marley said. One love on top. These sewage water out of sight, but it's always wrong. Don't lose the light. From factories and wells so deep, corals, mangroves and fish they weep. Green water for the garden, keep it green. Save the cash and the earth gets clean. We use the water with a mindful mind. It's out of sight but never far behind. In nature, the answers always flow. Like water running pure, the cycle grows. It renews itself, same drop, same beat. It's all good, man, you got the heat. Water flow, water flow. No clean water, no vibes we grow. Protect our water, protect our future.
Time to go.
Welcome back to our listeners. Welcome back, viewers, to The Point here on Classic Radio GBN TV. It's Tuesday, the 6th day of May 2025. Representing the opposition today on Opposition Tuesday, we have Mr. Jelani Glean. He's the caretaker for St. Patrick's West, and he's on today's program. Mr. Glean, welcome back once again. I have listened to you a while ago, and the question comes to mind. I want you to describe for me, in particular, maybe your leadership style and your approach to community engagement, and maybe to pass, caretakers and even other representatives for the constituency. Talk to me a wee bit about that. Describe for me your leadership style, and how different would you be in engaging the community in per se. Talk to me in relation to that.
Well, I would say my leadership style is really one that's based around team building. I love making decisions as a team. I actually always say that I prefer to be the least smartest person in the room where decisions are being made, so that I can learn from those who are wiser and smarter than me. I have had the pleasure of working along with previous caretakers, candidates like Mr. Anthony Boson, even worked along with our previous caretaker and candidate in the person of Mr. Victor Philip, working throughout my career, as with different principals, Brother George at St. John's Christian Secondary, Mr. James Alexander at McDonald College. I had the experience of working with Ms. Frances Taylor at the Grenada Bottling Company, Mr. Ron Antwine at the Grenada Breweries Limited, and many others. Mr. Pitt at Flow, who is someone that I had a very, very good relationship with, and I've learned a lot from in terms of leadership and capacity building. And I would say I'm a person that believes, of course, I have my own ideas and that I would like to bring to the table, but I'm only one of the many constituents that reside in St. Patrick. And as a result, I believe that even if I bring something to the table, that at the end of the day, St. Patrick people must decide collectively what the future of St. Patrick is going to look like. And of course, we need someone who can guide and lead in this process. But at the end of the day, we as a people must agree on what the future of St. Patrick is going to look like for us, what we would desire that future to look like. And then we can decide on what are the priority areas and the things that we would like to tackle first to deliver that type of vision and that type of future for the people of St. Patrick. And of course, I do believe that I have the capacity, the patience, the leadership skills, the collaborative skills to work along with persons. And here I'm not, when I say work along with persons, I'm not meaning just persons who support the new National Party, but to work along with persons across the constituency and across the parish as a whole, who we believe can contribute, and even persons who are outside of the parish who are willing to come in and serve our parish and our constituency, to bring them on board to help deliver the vision that we, the people of St. Patrick's, has envisioned for ourselves. So my leadership style is one more of a team approach, teamship approach, and of course, you always need somebody to ensure that we stay on track, we stay on task, we stick to deadlines, and that we actually deliver for our people.
I want to still keep the focus on the constituency a whole lot. I don't think I've heard, or maybe I've missed it. I haven't heard your focus a wee bit on the youth within St. Patrick. Your take on top of how you would like to see youth development within the Patrick of between the constituency of St. Patrick's West. Talk to me a wee bit about youth development, especially when it moves to young people with small businesses and so forth. How you feel that how the attention is given to youth, and from you being the caretaker and you're looking in on what is taking place. Tell us a wee bit about that in terms of how do you feel in terms of youth development within St. Patrick, and how it could be developed even more than it's already at the stage it's at right now.
Well, I will start off by saying that the youth is the heartbeat of St. Patrick. When we look at the current population in St. Patrick, there are probably an equal number of persons who are from St. Patrick that are living in the St. George's area. Because of work availability and so forth, they would have moved to those areas to be closer to work and make life a little bit easier for them. And as such, we recognize that a lot of the persons left within the constituency are elderly or youth. And the youth is growing significantly, and they have an important role to play. They are the ones who reside here. They are the ones who, if they too do not want to have to move out of the parish to gain employment and to secure themselves and create a better livelihood for themselves, they have to be involved in planning the process going forward as to what, as I said before, St. Patrick of 20 years from now should look like and should feel like, and the opportunities that should be available for other young persons coming up within the parish. I've seen, again, like I said, I don't believe in the bashing and complaining and critiquing for the sake of doing so. Seeing the government, present government, take initiatives and create some opportunities for our young persons. I've seen them reach out even to me to assist in workshops and so forth that aid in professional development for persons involved in clubs, for persons who have other organizations within the parish. To help them develop their professionalism a little bit better and to help them function a little bit better. And that is very good. It's a very good start. We have to give kudos where kudos are due. At the same time, We also recognize that a lot of young persons are being now employed. And again, as I said, there is some opportunity within the construction area with the constructing of the new houses and so forth. We have some young persons getting involved in that. We have opportunities for free tuition for our young persons going to TAMCC. And of course, we have a TAMCC present right here, a campus present right here in St. Patrick. That being said, though, the courses over there, we still have persons having to travel to St. George's to really do a lot of the science courses and so forth. It's mainly technical skill courses that are available at the campus in St. Patrick. We do have, many persons. We have a lot of doctors. I think last time I counted, we have probably over 40 doctors from St. Patrick. But when you look around to doctors living, residing in, and operating in St. Patrick, we're probably down to about 5. And of those 5, 2 of them are Cuban doctors. So, that is a bit concerning for us, that, again, we see a migration of persons once they become qualified, they gain their education and so forth, migrating out of the parish. And what we need to do is create opportunities for those persons to stay within the parish so they too can function. So if, for example, a doctor is having difficulty setting up an office to run successfully within the parish, what does that mean for a young businessman with little business experience and training trying to start a small business? Those conditions out here are tough for them. We need a little bit more support. We know there's been some government initiatives to support new businesses, small businesses. But again, a lot of the times we find that the startup and the initial financial input that many of these businesses have to utilize, it's just not available. You could be as smart as you are. Those monies are come at a cost, and the training that you need to operate those businesses, the support that you need after the business would have started, and that hand-holding period is definitely a challenge for us. We're also recognizing that the issues affecting our males and our females are different at the moment. We have a lot of our young males still on the block, far too many, if you ask me. Lots of them trying to get into fishing, into construction, but there isn't a lot of construction taking place in the St. Patrick area. We're blessed to have a new hotel in terms of the Libera Hotel project, another NNP initiative being executed in the project in the parish as is, but that's just one. We have some of the small houses, but still we are talking about, again, just on our side of the parish alone, we're talking about over 5,000 residents. So again, we want to see more opportunities being created for employment. Once the employment situation is being created and persons can work right here in St. Patrick's. St. Patricians, as the famous Andrew Donald likes to say, the patricians can work within the parish. It means saving a lot of costs on transportation, on food costs, and so forth. You're being closer to your family. You have more time to interact with your kids and pay more attention to supporting them at home, simply by virtue of being home earlier. It's as simple as that, leaving home a little bit later because you're closer to your employment. I think that is going to change a lot. And then once that happens, we're going to have a little bit more disposable income. And we'll see a lot of our small businesses starting to thrive a little bit better. It's not just a matter of looking at things in isolation and just providing support to start a small business. When your small business opens up, you need customers to come in and purchase. And if customers do not have the disposable income to support those businesses, then guess what? You end up with a lot of assets that's stuck on your hand that you cannot move, and your business is eventually going to foreclose. So we need that continued type of support and hand-holding for our young persons. We need to show them what are the future opportunities that are going to be available, where the investments are going to be made, create the training and certification now, so that in a year or two, they can become gainfully employed and capitalize on those opportunities as they become available.
I want you to talk to me, Mr. Glean, in relation to those goals that you may have set thus far. I know there are some short-term goals that you, of course, for the constituency, for the next couple of months that you have set aside and decide, hey, these are the things I want to deal in particular for that particular constituency of St. Patrick's West. Talk to me about those goals that you hope to, get into.
Well, like I said, first and foremost, my main responsibility is to prepare the new national parties branch within the St. Patrick's West constituency for upcoming elections. And that is my number one focus. Therein, we want to ensure that our physical organization or party groups within the constituency are all updated, they're all functional, they're all firing on all cylinders, doing and helping and assisting in the political work that needs to be done at the moment. We need to carry forward the message to each and every household, each and every resident within the constituency to ensure that they hear the message of the New National Party, that they understand fully what the history of the New National Party has been, what our record of delivery has been, and that we have a future, we have a plan that includes all of them, that they all have a part to play. But to get there, we first must return to office. And to return to office, we need everybody on board. And even whilst in office, we would also need everybody on board playing their part to ensure that we all move together forward in the direction that we see and envision for a better Green leader. So that's in terms of the short term, what we're looking at. Medium term, of course, some things will happen as you get into office and so forth. Like I said, I believe I have some ideas and plans that I would like to share with the constituency across a variety of industries and areas that I believe we can benefit from and create some opportunity going forward for us within the constituency. Like I said, employment within the constituency is one of the areas that we need urgent focus on. That in addition to the housing situation that we have here in St. Patrick, that needs urgent attention. So we do have some plans that we would like to share. But again, these are just plans, ideas, and a vision that I would like to share with them. But they too have a part to play in critiquing it, in being part of it, in adding to it. It cannot be my plan. It has to be our plan. It cannot be my vision. It has to be our vision. Because if it's our vision, then we all take ownership of it. We all have a part to play in it. We would all protect it. We'll all get behind it. We'll all do all the things that are necessary to ensure that that vision is accomplished. And of course, if I'm leading that process, then of course I can be held accountable for delivery of what we would have agreed to as a constituency.
Tell me, how do you plan to stay connected with the people? Yeah, I mean, of course, listening to especially when it comes to listening to their needs and so forth. How is that particular plan that you have in terms of staying, connected with them?
Well, there is always, the social media has given us access now to each and every home, to each and every cell phone. That is in the palm of every resident within the constituency. And of course, we would utilize that to share our messaging and to bring forth and share the experiences and the things that are happening, the ideas we have, and to the engagement opportunities in terms of public meetings, corner pocket meetings, meetings with smaller groups. Across and throughout the constituency, meeting with different groups of people, not in just terms of geographic location, but here in terms of probably persons who are the nurses, the healthcare workers, the police officers, the farmers, the fishermen, persons in the construction area, to really get a better feel and appreciation for some of the challenges that they are currently experiencing, and to probably engage them on some of the ideas that they have to resolving some of these issues. Of course, they have a lot of experience in those areas and those industries, probably a lot more than even I do, and can really point to and say, hey, this will work, this may not work because of these reasons. And as I said, it's a holistic approach. It's an engagement that involves everyone. But the most important thing is I intend to visit every single resident within the constituency to bring my message personally to their doorstep and to give them access to me, whether via directly through a phone call, through our office, setting up appointments, that type of thing, so that we can engage one-on-one directly. And, they can question me a bit too and get to know me a little bit better, and I get to know them a little bit better. My position on this entire thing is I don't think I would make a good representative, or I can't lead persons within the constituency who I don't know. So I need to know the constituents, I need to know the residents, I need to know everyone, and they need to know me, and they need to understand that they have access to me, and that we can work together collaboratively to lead a better St. Patrick West a better St. Patrick, a better Grenada.
Tell me about the new National Party. Let's talk a wee bit about the stability. We know you have a new political leader and so forth of the new National Party right now. Talk to me about the stability of the party itself, and how do you feel about, of course, the overall working of it right now? Have you been the caretaker and the other new caretakers that have been shown up lately? Tell me a wee bit about the new National Party and the stability of the party right now.
Well, I think the party is pretty stable. As a matter of fact, we are in a transitionary process. We are transitioning from our former political leader, the esteemed Honorable Dr. Keith Mitchell, who has led this party for a very long time and has led so with distinction in many regards as it pertains to development in Grenada. Now we're transitioning as he fades into the twilight of his career, his political career. We have a new political leader in terms of the Honorable Emmeline Pear, who in my view is an astounding choice for the party. It is someone, like I said, who would have started off as a youth herself within the party and would have worked her way up and through the system, gaining lots of experience at first as a coordinator in the Ministry of Youth, then as a senator in the ministry, in government, then into as a parliamentary representative in the lower house, and as a minister of government in youth, in education, and serving in other areas with a wealth of experience, and now has taken the helm. So when she speaks, she's not just speaking from her knowledge, but also from her experiences throughout those many years and the processes that she has been through. I think she has the energy. I think she has the knowledge, the wisdom to really move not just the party, but Grenada forward. She's a God-fearing woman. She is a family-oriented woman. She is one who is patient, who is strategic, who is caring, and is not one to be very boisterous and loud. But as you saw in the last budget debate, when it comes time to business, she is more than prepared, well-researched, well-rehearsed, and ready to do the job. So I believe right now we are pretty stable. As we move forward, we now have the new political leader, new executive. Now we are looking at updating and upgrading in terms of our caretakers, and I've been blessed to be one of the new caretakers announced in the new dispensation, along with 3 other colleagues. And I think from the reception we've received thus far, it seems to me that is the kind of change, the kind of evolution that the Grenadian people have been looking towards the NNP for. And I think, again, the political leader has begun delivery in that regard, in meeting those expectations with persons who are not only youthful, but experienced, well-qualified, and have a heart and care and passion for serving people, serving their communities.
Jelani, we due for a break. Let's take it. When we come back, of course, we certainly will invite our listeners and viewers if we do have a question or two. I still do have a question or two I may have to throw out at you before we take a wrap this morning. Let's take a short break. When we come back, the conversation continues. Stay with us, Classic Radio, GBN TV. We're coming right back after the break.
Climate.
GBN presents the 2025 Maggie King of the Grill, Saturday, June 7th, Monrouge Plainfield from 11 a.m. Our partners, Maggie, the secret of great flavor, Grenada Distillers Limited, makers of Clark's Court, Grenada's #1 rum, Grenada Paper Products, makers of Cherish, Spring Soft, Harbour Bay and Super Value Toilet Paper, and Royal, Quick and Easy and Horizon Paper Towels, Budget Foods Inc., Classic Lighting, and Blue Bubbles PA Rental and Event Supplies. It's the 2025 Maggie King of the Grill, where flavor rules. Get ready, Grenada, for more great track and field action on May 17th and 18th at the Jelani James Stadium as our athletes strive for supremacy at the Classic Lighting Athletic Championship. Come support our stars as they sprint, jump, and throw. It's the Classic Lighting Athletic Championship, May 17th and 18th, Jelani James Stadium from 11 a.m. Start preparing now.
Looking for a burst of flavor in every sip? Discover the refreshing world of Rush Distributors. As the proud national distributor for Blue Waters products in Grenada, we bring you a variety of beverages perfect for every moment of your day. Elevate your levels of hydration with our Blue Waters Original or Alkaline Water. Treat yourself to our unique flavors of Tampico, Juice, and Caribbean Traditions. Or zest it up with our Cran Plus, Sparkling Cran Plus, and Stamina Energy Drinks. At Rush Distributors, we give you a rush of flavor in every sip so you can enjoy delightful taste with the highest quality. Perfect for your health, perfect for your taste buds. Whether you're relaxing at home, out with friends, or celebrating life's big moments, Rush Distributors is here to refresh your world. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Rush Distributors to stay updated on our latest products and offers. Or give us a call at 435-RUSH, 435-7874 for more information. Rush Distributors, your go-to for refreshing beverages in Grenada.
Coming up, crop overs already in the air, along with all the hype. They conquered the Caribbean, now they're ready for the world. Solid financial support joins the battle versus severe medical conditions. There's absolutely everything you need and then some at this resort. It's all next on this station.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. It's To The Point, Classic Radio, GBN TV. Good morning to those of you via our social media platforms. Good morning once again and welcome. We have Mr. Jelani Glean with us this morning. He's a caretaker for St. Patrick's West. Jelani, good morning once again and welcome back. In this segment, I did mention that I'll be inviting our listeners and viewers, if they do have a question or two, they may like to ask you in relation to you being the caretaker, and of course, and assuming you're the question that is relevant that they may like to ask that you wish to answer, to respond to them with via, they can do it in this segment. Let's take our very first caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning to you, GT, and good morning to Mr. Glean and to your followers. Mr. Glean, I guess you know my voice, and you're a person I admire greatly, and your family very well. As you know, when I came up to St. Patrick a year ago to do my focus groups, I sought you out, and I found you and made sure you came, because I respect your passion and your genuineness as a person. I love you, and because I know your family well. Although I would say, and I appreciate the fact that you are who you are because of your roots. I am like that. The only thing is that my family upbringing drove me a different direction. 2 years, and I respect that. For instance, I was brought up in a poor family, but we were taught independence, not depending on others to do anything for us. We are very proud, though poor. We were taught objectivity. We were taught equity and fairness all the time. Very strong Christian values. We were told that we should dislike corruption and any appearance of corruption. Truthfulness in politicians was a great virtue that my father, always spoke about. And politicians who put election victories ahead of the development of the country. These are the sort of things that we are taught. And this led me to a different direction. And therefore, there are certain, when I was growing up, there are a certain party that did not follow that kind of, principle, and we didn't follow that party. Similarly, as I grew up, the same thing. I saw those things that we were taught were not prevalent in another party, so I have not gone that route. But years led you to a different route. That's fair enough. What I would say, though, is that we have landed here now in 2025, right? After a quarter century of NNP, they had 5 terms, 5 opportunities, 5 bites at the cherry. 3 of them, I think, were uninterrupted, and they didn't have any opposition to obstruct them. But yet we have landed here, right? We saw the demise of agriculture. We saw the debacle we had with that the project you spoke about, the Breakwater project, which is undertaken against all advice without even environmental impact assessment. Somebody was given a project to do. Now, I'm surprised that you seem to be owning it or not owning it. We had that dependency syndrome that we've had here in Grenada over the last 20 years, right? Nepotism, right? And victimization. I'm a poster child for that. We've seen here, after 25 years and 5 terms of NNP, right? So why I understand the challenges that you have outlined, and they are real, and I empathize. But we have landed here after 5 terms of that party. So to me, I'm kind of surprised that you still feel that is the party that will move us forward and is the one you aligned with. I know you are different and you have your drive and your passion. But in business, I was told that if you want to turn around business that has failed, the last people you want anywhere around that business are those who brought it to its knees. But you are saying to us, after all those years and all those opportunities that that party had, you still believe it is the right party to take us through to a brighter future. And that's my only concern. But I love you. And continue your work, continue your passion, and I wish you every success.
Thank you, caller.
Right,
Thank you so much. Of course, Mr. Glean, any response to the caller as we move along to another?
Sure. And let me start off by saying thank you to the caller for sharing and for his warm sentiments and well wishes. I do appreciate it very much. Understanding his concerns, and they are legitimate concerns, I would point to just these few things. One, yes, the New National Party has been in government for 25 years, and yes, 3 episodes of that probably would have been without opposition. In terms of that, I am more concerned about, people seem to overlook that the National Democratic Congress has also been in government. They had 10 years in government, and now they have another 3, so that's 13. That's just a 7-year difference from from 20 and another 5. But there's a reason why every time the National Democratic Congress is given an opportunity in government, the people always seem to want to turn back to the New National Party. And it's a simple choice. It has to be with that of delivery. And when we look at our history, we recognize that Grenada has economically always benefited. The records are there to show. I'm not making this up. The Grenada has always performed better economically under the leadership and stewardship of the New National Party. Our youth are given more opportunities under the New National Party. So, yes, has the New National Party been perfect in everything that they've done? No. Would we have liked to see more out of, Grenada and would have liked to see the New National Party achieve more whilst in government? Absolutely, yes. But which government have we not had that expectation of? We are 50 years in, and we are probably 4 or 5 parties into government in. And I don't think that it is a fair judgment to say, okay, because you've had these opportunities, we shouldn't go back. Because every time these opportunities were given to us, we have performed. And not only have we performed, we've performed under the worst crises Grenada has faced. The engagement of Hurricane Ivan and Emily in the first instances, to go through COVID again, which was something brand new that we had to deal with as a people. And I think the New National Party would have gone through both of those scenarios, scoring very high marks. Now, in terms of, my allegiances and where I come from, is that persons have different experiences and different reasons for supporting and getting behind the people that they would want to get behind. For me, it's a matter of finding the reasons where you believe we can gain the greatest success. We have seen a government that, had complained while they were on the opposite side, has complained a lot while the National Party was in government about nepotism and about unfairness and distribution of equity and so on and so forth. But now they are in the government seat. You have the Prime Minister declaring publicly in a rally that the only reason that some Grenadians who are not supporters of the government are benefiting from the government is simply because they have not been able to identify who are all of their own supporters. Now, if you're looking for a definition of nepotism, I think you have one being given to you right there from the Prime Minister's mouth himself. But I don't hear any criticisms on that. I don't hear any feedback coming from that is speaking towards that. We just had 5 women from the Carriacou area who have won the case against the government for unfair dismissal based on, matters of who they were supporting and so forth. We see simultaneously government workers from the same area at party events wearing their party paraphernalia and all of that with no redress, with no reprimand or anything like that. So when you look at favoritism and you look at those things, we also have to pay attention to that. It happens, right? So I'm not one to go down that road and hit in that direction. What I would like to say, though, is from where I sit, Grenada is in trouble. We economically, we have some challenges ahead, and to me, things are going to only get worse. And we have to start thinking differently and start acting differently, not just talking the talk. We need to back up the talk with a lot of actions and a lot of solid thinking and planning that are within the framework of the law that we have set up for ourselves so that we can protect our economy, we can protect our future. We can't keep moving the goalposts along whenever it suits us to accomplish our objectives and our goals because it solves our purpose and at the same time hurts the wider society. So we need everybody on board. We need to provide them with a reason for hope. And I think the New National Party does that. In terms of the way I look at the New National Party is the way I look at my family. If I have a child and my child is angry with me or is falling out or my child is sick and cannot perform the duties that is ought to perform at the level of expectation, if my child broke the law and has to serve a term in prison because he broke the law, that child still remains my child and that child is still my family. And I will do my best to help that child to change and to support that child and to bring that child back up and out so that he can perform and contribute to the society that we love. So yes, if NNP has made some mistakes in the past, we have learned from them. If we have disappointed the expectations of some of our citizens, we have learned from that. But we have also shown that we are very capable of delivering to the level of expectation and in many cases even exceeding them. So we are within our family. We are working hard to correct and to change a lot of the perceptions and misperceptions that have been created about the party. We remain passionate about our goal. We are in 100% support of our leader, and we know we can make a difference, and we will make a difference come election day.
All right, Mr. Green, thank you once again. We do have another caller, and we are a bit strapped for time, but let's take another caller. Caller via WhatsApp, good morning, and I appreciate your patience. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. GT, and good morning to Mr. Glean. Mr. Glean, I'm happy to see young men get into politics. But let me first address probably one issue in regards to, you did say that the New National Party would have placed Grenada in a better economic situation. I think that is an error. They have not. Secondly, I must indeed ask you, given the fact that you were asked to be a caretaker of a seat that would have already had a caretaker, how did you feel in regards that there were other seats where persons would have stated that they would not be going back to contest that seat in a general election, and no caretaker was placed there? How do you felt about that, and how could you actually defend that? Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Respond to the caller, Mr. Glean?
Well, the response is, thank you again, caller, for your question, and it's a very good question. It's simple. There is a process. The new National Party is governed by a constitution, and the constitution provides direction as to how caretakers are selected. The final decision is for caretakers lies with the national executive. Now, the national executive would have placed caretakers in place since election, the previous election, that would have been helping do the work within the constituencies across the country. Now, the convention has gone, there's a new executive is in place, and they're reviewing all of the processes and so forth. Like we said, if we have we've disappointed in some ways, and we have to accept that we also have to look within and make the necessary corrections, changes, upgrades that we need to, so that we can progress as we move forward. In that regard, the party has set forth its criteria for selecting new caretakers, as in St. Patrick's West, for example. We had some 5 persons offering up themselves for the role of caretaker within the constituency. And all 5 persons were given equal opportunity. We were given the opportunity to execute tasks. We were given the opportunity to share and to collaborate together and to lead. And at the end of the day, surveys were done and all of that to ensure that the support was there that was necessary behind whoever will ascend as the new caretaker to lead going forward. So at the end of the day, the caretakers are decided by the national executive. They have the final say. Recommendations come from the constituency. And as such, the national executive would do its due diligence, would reflect on the recommendations, and then would make a final decision. But the decisions is the national executives to make. And they've made it in some cases, and in other cases, it's ongoing. So I do understand the concern, but there is no need to worry. There is no unfairness. There is no backstabbing. There is no behind the scene. And of course, at the school sports, everybody runs for the individual houses at the school sports. But at the intercall, everybody who ran and was successful in different houses come together to represent the school. And that is what we have here. The school sports in many constituencies is over, and we're now preparing for the intercall. It's one team, one mission, everybody on board together, working to see our party and our constituency succeed.
All right. So, Glean, I have one final question for you. I may not be able to accommodate any more calls because Stratford time is already moving down way past the wrapping up time. Now, what message would you like to share with the people of St. Patrick's West as you begin this particular journey as their caretaker? And that will be my final question to you. And I'll beg of you to be brief on it so we can take a wrap for today.
Okay. So, thank you again, GT, for having me. I would say my message to my constituency at this point in time is this is not, the time is now. Our time is right now. Our time to prepare and to get our work done is right now. It's everybody on board, everybody together, no man left behind. Every citizen, every resident is important. Every resident, not every supporter, every resident is important within our constituency. And we have to reach a hand out to them. We have to engage them. We have to be prepared to make the sacrifices and to work diligently for our party if we want to be successful. I am leading a team. I am not a man on a mission by himself. I am a team player. I'm a team leader. And I look forward to working with each and every resident, each and every citizen within our constituency as we engage you and we help prepare our party for upcoming elections.
Mr. Jelani, Glean, I want to thank you once again, and best wishes goes out to you. Of course, being the caretaker for St. Patrick's West, wish you all the best in your endeavors there, and all the best for the rest of the day, sir. All the best.
Thank you, GT. It was a pleasure.
All right, so have a good one, sir. Hey, folks, that's we're going to take a wrap for this edition of To The Point. Best wishes goes out to everyone, our listeners and viewers. Join me again tomorrow for another edition. Now we say goodbye.